So, Chapter 6, The Science of Being Great by Wallace D. Wattles. This one is called The Social Point of View. Okay. Without faith, it is impossible to please God, and without faith, it is impossible for you to become great. The distinguishing characteristic of all really great men and women is an unwavering faith. We see this in Lincoln during the dark days of the war. We see it in Washington at Valley Forge. We see it in Livingstone, the crippled missionary, threading the mazes of the dark continent. His soul aflame with the determination to let in the light upon the accursed slave trade, which his soul abhorred. We see it in Luther and in Francis Willard, in every man and woman who has attained a place on the muster roll of the great ones in the world. Faith, not a faith in oneself or in one's own powers, but faith in principle, in the something great which upholds right, and which may be relied upon to give us the victory in due time. Without this faith, it is not possible for anyone to rise to real greatness. The man who has no faith in principle will always be a small man. Whether you have this faith or not depends upon your point of view. You must learn to see the world as being produced by evolution, as a something which is evolving and becoming, not as a finished work. Millions of years ago, God worked with very low and crude forms of life, low and crude, yet each perfect after its kind. Higher and more complex organisms, animal and vegetable, appear through the successive ages. The earth passed through stage after stage in its unfoldment. Each stage is perfect in itself, and to be succeeded by a higher one. What I wish you to note is that the so-called, quote, lower organisms, end quote, are as perfect after their kind as the higher ones. That the world is an econ. That the world in the Eocene period was perfect for that period. It was perfect, but God's work was not finished. This is true of the world today. Physically, socially, and industrially, it is all good, and it is all perfect. It is not complete anywhere or in any part, but so far as the handiwork of God has gone, it is perfect. Remember, it is through us that God moves through. It is through us that God continually strives. Remember, evolution. How we lived 100 years ago was perfect for us at that time, because at that time our living conditions were, fine for us, to live in. But if we lived in the manner we lived in 100 years ago, now we would not survive. Okay, remember, the world has evolved into what it is now than from what it was 100 years ago. So the people that this world consists and composes of also must evolve, so they could be able to even live and survive in a world that is now in existence to this day for the modern day of 100 years ago. You know what I mean. My wording was kind of mixed up, but I know you guys got that point. And brings me back to the point of how I was talking in the last video. That is why it is so important for us to learn all the principles that we need to learn, and learn how society and economy works, so then we could take the external and take who we have, our own internal world, and work with how the outside works. Okay, so we don't make the mistakes. Okay, so how can I explain this? Simply learning how the external world works, so us in our own personal consciousness is able to work with that. So we could take what we have within us and apply that to how this principle of manifestation works. Okay, Corey, that sucked. Oh man, dude, you have so much more to practice when it comes to explaining something like that. Because in my head it makes sense, but I still need to figure out how to symbolize it in a way that would make sense for a viewer like you guys. Let's continue. Okay. Where were we? Millions of years ago, God worked with very low and crude forms of life. Low and crude, yet each perfect after its kind. Higher and more complex organisms, animal and vegetable, appeared through the successive ages. The earth passed through stage after stage in its unfoldment, each stage perfect in itself, and to be succeeded by a higher one. What I wish you to note is that the so-called lower organisms are as perfect after their kind as the higher ones, that the world in the Eocene period was perfect after that period. It was perfect, but God's work was not finished. This is true of the world today. Physically, socially, and industrially, it is all good. It is all perfect. It is not complete anywhere or in any part, but so far as the handiwork of God has gone, it is perfect. Man. Now he explained that so much better. That's what makes this so exciting, but at the same time so, wow, like, dude, you have so much to learn. You have so much growing to do. Remember, that is one thing I want you guys to see. See it? Just look at me and see it, okay? Success is an unfoldment, okay? It is something you grow into. I know I was just talking about this. It is something you grow into. So don't give up on the person you want to become. Don't give up on yourself, because it was given to you for a reason. There is a reason you're thinking about it every day. This must be your point of view, that the world and all it contains is perfect, though not completed. I want to read that to you guys again. This must be your point of view, that the world and all it contains is perfect, though not completed. This is why it's very important to have patience with yourself, because our life in you know, what we go through and learn about in our growing, our personal growth is also an unfoldment. Okay, and I know it could be frustrating when you don't get something right the first time, because you do fall, and you know what, you get hurt. But that's when you need to pick yourself back up again, because you know, I need to get this right. That's what you need to wake up and say and be thankful for every day. You know what, I am thankful for this day, because today is another day for me to get it right. And you know what? If I make a mistake, then you know what? If I fall again, then fine. There's something else for me to learn, because what I was doing then, you know, I was still making a mistake because I still didn't succeed. Remember, there is a principle of success, a certain definite way. So every time you fall, which that means there is something that needs to be tweaked, you need to get back up again, and you need to keep trying. Quote, "All is right with the world," end quote. That is a great fact. Now that is one thing that you, even me, we need to practice and keep that thought in mind, that you know what, as far as I have come in my life, I am perfect as I am right now. And you know what, I will press on to keep growing. I will press on to keep becoming the person that I want to be, because there is something for me to learn every single day. In 5-10 years from now, I'm going to look back and look at me, how I am in this moment, and just ponder on the journey, you know. And we are all God's children, and we are all created perfectly in our own imperfections. We are perfect as far as we have come, and we are continuing to advance. There is nothing wrong with anything. There is nothing wrong with anybody. All the facts of life you must contemplate from this standpoint. There is nothing wrong with nature. Nature is a great advancing presence, working beneficently for the happiness of all. All things in nature are good. She has no evil. She is not complete, for creation is still unfinished, but she is going on to give to man even more bountifully than she has given to him in the past. Nature is a partial expression of God, and God is love. She is perfect, but not complete. So of human society and government, what though there are trusts and combinations of capital and strikes and lockouts and so on? All these things are part of the forward movement. They are incidental to the evolutionary process of completing society. When it is complete, there will be no more of these inharmonies, but it cannot be completed without them. When it is complete, there will be no more of these inharmonies, but it cannot be completed without them. Wow. The kingdom of heaven is within you. Seek ye first this kingdom, and all will be added unto you. The world within. There is a world within you, a world of thoughts, moods, and feelings, and it is this world that creates the external world, because a man becomes an embodiment of that which is happening within them. Know ye not that ye are the temple of the living God? You are a creator, my friend. When it is complete, there will be no more of these inharmonies. When the kingdom of heaven is established on earth, all things will be well. When the general consciousness learns of their own internal world, that all that is happening within them, then all the external world will move in accordance to who they are. This world is the way it is because of the people that inhabit it. Okay? In order for this world to actually be better, the people that live on this planet must make themselves better. Okay? Remember, you are the cause. You are the source. You are an embodiment of this source. You are an open channel of this source. You are the channel that the ocean of intelligence is able to flow through and express itself through and create on the external world through you. Remember, there is only one substance, and man is a portion of this cosmic substance. Okay? Man is this substance. You are consciousness. You are the creator. Okay? And whatever thoughts you are thinking, you are creating those thought forms. You are taking on the form of that which you are thinking and believing yourself to be. You are taking on the form of that which you are consistently, thinking of yourself to be. That is why that thing that is calling you, that thing you are thinking about every single day, you have that constant urge to get it done because it is consistently being manifested from your own internal world, seeking to express itself in the external. So of human society and government, that what though there, okay, we just read that. J.P. Morgan is as necessary to the coming social order as the strange animals of the age of reptiles were in the life of the succeeding period. And just as these animals were perfect after their kind, so Morgan was perfect after his kind. Behold, it is all very good. See society, government, and industry as being perfect now, and as advancing rapidly towards being complete. Then you will understand that there is nothing to fear, no cause for anxiety, nothing to worry about. Never complain of any of these things. They are perfect. This is the very best possible world for the stage of development man has reached. They are perfect. They are perfect in their own way. This will sound like rank folly for many, perhaps to most people. What, they will say, are not child labor and the exploitation of men and women in filthy and unsanitary factories evil things? Are not saloons evil? Do you mean to say that we shall accept all these and call them good? Child labor and similar things are no more evil than the way of living and the habits and practices of the cave dweller were evil. His ways were those of the savage stage of man's growth, and for that stage they were perfect. Our industrial practices are those of the savage stage of industrial development, and they are also perfect. Wow. Remember how he was saying in The Science of Getting Rich that the industrial or business world is ran by, even the business world is ran by its people, okay? People who are the managers, the CEOs, all that is run by the people. And according to even the development and character and nature of the person running the place is going to determine the nature of the business, okay? And which is why even businesses nowadays are getting better and better and better, because of the people that actually inhabit and run the business are better and better and better. They're growing. The savage stage. Business is right now in its savage stage, especially the corporate world. It is a savage stage of business. People in corporate are on top, and the people who are actually building the business and working are on the bottom. And they should be getting paid a heck of a lot more for the service that they provide. Everybody, you and me, the struggle is real. 97% of the people, 2-3% of the people, I don't even think that many percent of the people are the ones that have all the currency in the world, while the other 97% of people are struggling and trying to survive. All that is there because of the way things are structured and because of the people that inhabit this planet. And the only way that this planet is going to change, the only way business is going to change and industry is going to change, if the people that actually run and keep that going change. Remember, it is an unfoldment and it happens from within the collective. Our industrial practices are those of the savage stage of industrial development, and they are also perfect. Nothing better is possible until we cease to be mental savages in industry and business, and become men and women. This can only come about by the rise of the whole race to a higher viewpoint. And this can only come about by the rise of such individuals here and there as are ready for the higher viewpoint. The cure for all these inharmonies lies not with the masters or employers, but with the workers themselves. Whenever they reach a higher viewpoint, whenever they shall desire to do so, they can establish complete brotherhood and harmony in industry. They have the numbers and the power. They are getting now what they desire. Whenever they desire more in the way of a higher, purer, more harmonious life, they will receive more. True, they want more now, but they only want more of the things that make for animal enjoyment, and so industry remains in the savage, brutal, animal stage. When the workers begin to rise in the mental plane of living and ask for more of the things that make for life of the mind and soul, industry will at once be raised above the plane of savagery and brutality, but it is perfect now upon its plane. Upon its plane, behold, it is all very good. Wow. So of saloons and dens of vice, if the majority of people desire these things, it is right and necessary that they should have them. Oh wow. Desire. Remember, desire. Desire is what pulls things to you. Remember, desire is what puts law of attraction in motion. Remember, we learned that. We learned that in the Master Key System, that desire is what pulls things through you. Okay? When you use the will, okay, the will is what makes things happen in the external world. Remember, the will is a function of your conscious mind. The conscious mind deals with the external things. Okay? The will, the conscious mind, is in control and is the captain of the subconscious mind. The will, the conscious mind, is the one that dictates exactly what's going to go inside of the subconscious mind. It is the will, the watchman at the gate. Okay? Remember, if you make your bed in hell, then lo, you will be there. But if you take the uttermost sea of the mornings, or if you take the wings of the morning and dwell in the uttermost part of the sea, ever there you will be. Okay, if you seek for the things of animal enjoyment, then you are looking for the things that keep you within your own animalistic realm. You know, like smoking weed, for example. You know, that's something the ego wants. It's not something as your true state of being wants. Because you, in your real state of being, you want peace, you want happiness, you want harmony. Because when I catch myself doing this all the time. When I do end up, getting high, sometimes I get my bed is made in hell. I make my bed in hell, and lo, I end up being there. Like the same thing with you guys. When you're doing something which no longer serves you, no longer helps you, but you still dictate doing that thing, a force of habit, because you grew up doing that, and that's something that was then and it's not now. The greater the difficulty, the more glorious the triumph. I actually just read that earlier. The people make society what it is, and as the people rise above the bestial thought, society will rise above the beastly and its manifestations. But a society which thinks in a bestial way must have saloons and dives. It is perfect after its kind, as the world was in the Eocene period, and is very good. All this does not prevent you from working for better things. You can work to complete an unfinished society, instead of to renovate a decaying one, and you can work with a better heart and a more hopeful spirit. Which is exactly what we are here to do. We are here to help create a new world. Okay, you and me, we were created to help create a new world. Okay, remember, we are here to learn. We are growing. We have more opportunities than our present generation. Okay, and the generation after mine is going to have more opportunities than I even had. Okay, they're going to have more opportunities to learn more, to do more, to be more, which is exactly what we all want, because we are all in this together. Remember, we are all one. Behind the mask we all wear, we're just one. Like there is only one, and it is through us that this one continues to grow and advance and become more and more. It will make an immense difference with your faith and spirit, whether you look upon civilization as a good thing, which is becoming better, or as a bad and evil thing, which is decaying. One viewpoint gives you an advancing and expanding mind, and the other gives you a descending and decreasing mind. One viewpoint will make you grow greater, and the other will inevitably cause you to grow smaller. One will enable you to work for the eternal things, to do large works in a great way towards the completing of all that is incomplete and inharmonious, and the other will make you a mere patchwork reformer, working almost without hope to save a few lost souls from what you will grow to consider a lost and doomed world. Wow. Remember, it is all perception. Remember the power of perception. You get to choose how you get to see things. Remember what Charles F. Hannell said about thought. Okay, thought is the creator. This dream rock is only a dream rock. It is whatever you think and perceive this dream rock to be is going to determine its effect in your life. So you see, it makes a vast difference to you, this matter of the social viewpoint. Quote, "All is right with the world. Nothing can possibly be wrong but my own personal attitude, and I will make that right. I will see the facts of nature and all the events, circumstances, and conditions of society, politics, government, and industry from the highest viewpoint. It is all perfect, though incomplete. It is all the handiwork of God. Behold, it is all very good." End quote. Now that is the end of chapter 6 on the social point of view. And the social point of view is seeing society as advancing, continuously advancing. Okay, remember, we are all moving towards a greater world. We're no longer living, we never were at all living in a decaying world, because the people who believe that they are living in a hopeless, decaying world, what you believe becomes a law unto you, and that belief gets expressed back towards them. Remember, you are a creator. And those who believe that this world is forever becoming in something greater, you end up seeing that those are the people that actually advance new things. You know, like Emerson, transcendentalist. He set in motion the momentum of a new thought movement. And if anybody has the ability to do that, so do you. Thank you so much, you guys, for watching this. That is the end of this chapter. I need to eat something. Again, thank you. If you liked it, share, please subscribe. With that being said, I'll see you on the other side of the galaxy.